2024 season for Matt Madelon's squad, Dave.
No better place than to have a trusted veteran in cage as they start game one for the Princeton Tigers.
Andrew Mcmeekin taking the face-off against Ethan Cronk as a Tiger takes a tumble. This team's matching up on opening day. That's been a familiar spot. Well, this is the first time in a couple of years where Monmouth's had a game under their belts at the top, playing alongside Kabiri and Mcmeekin.
Good awareness and quick hands from Burns behind the cage, picks it up, keeps his head up, and finds the veteran Billings right on the crease. Nice job by Billings of staying on the offensive side. Oftentimes you miss that shot as a long pole, you just retreat, but Billings saw an opening and ran to open space right on the crease.
Face-off controlled by the Hawks. Carter Malone, one of the face-off wings, controls and carries in for Monmouth. Second career goal for
by the Hawks.
Caffarelli is a senior, Corona Del Mar High School, 82 goals. Last year, CAA All-Rookie team, 31 goals, 35 points to lead the Hawks. One of the veterans on attack now alongside the transfer Connor Gorman, who's a sophomore, and the freshman Brendan Dundas. Another early stop by Tommy Heller. He's the Albany transfer. Ty Caffarelli and Connor Gorman, the two goal scorers today, both sophomores. Back to the face-off X, Andrew Mcmeekin for the Tigers. They'll go to Will Hohn, the Monmouth Hawks. Mcmeekin, you can see the size and the physicality out there, 6'1", 210.
Yeah, you see size at the face-off X, and it comes in a lot of different ways, right? But Mcmeekin's got the height that a lot of face-off guys don't have at 6'1".
Princeton still without Tyler Sandoval, who opened last year as their primary face-off man and was a big...
Nice job. Been talking about this hyped-up recruiting class. Nate Kabiri, what he could be on attack. To get that first goal in, I'm sure is a big sigh of relief for number 2.
Nate Kabiri, the freshman from McLean, Virginia, out of Georgetown Prep. He's the number 3 overall recruit, according to Inside Lacrosse. Headliner of the Tigers' number 1 rated recruiting class in college lacrosse.
Yeah, great job by Matt Madelon and company, and getting a great group of freshmen on campus this year after the loss of 16 players last year.
And once again, ranked in the top 20, they come into this week ranked 11th as they get their 2024 campaign underway.
He's done a tremendous job with the X's and O's, and like you said, 2 years ago, the Final Four trip, and then last year, how about the clutch gene, right? They needed to win that Ivy League tournament. They do it. Then the unfortunate loss to Penn State in that NCAA tournament. But Madelon's not only done it in terms of Andrew Mcmeekin and Ethan Cronk.
Talked about Nate Kabiri out of Georgetown Prep, the number 3 recruit in this class. Colin Burns, his high school teammate, checked in at number 20, and those are the 2 freshmen starting on the attack for the Tigers. Mcmeekin takes a tumble, battling for possession in midfield, and it's the Hawks coming away with it. Hayden Chester. And then the ball down on the turf, the Tigers able to get it back. Coulter Mcmeekin, how about the attackman on the ride? Princeton just trying to maintain the handle as that trickles out of bounds, and it'll go back to the Hawks.
Could have been.
Tigers have 4 goals. He's got a goal and 2 assists, so 3 points on 4 Princeton tallies. Kabiri has got a goal and an assist.
Princeton goal scored by number 0.
Coulter Mcmeekin so quick picking the ball off the carpet as a Tiger takes a tumble, but Princeton right back on the attack.
Going, and then kind of the world is your oyster because you can't, it's so hard to cover all 3. Monmouth coming in without tape, so learning a lot about this attack just as everyone else is watching.
Clean face-off win for Mcmeekin and the Tigers.
His second goal of the game.
2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points for the freshman out of Georgetown Prep, the Potomac, Maryland native, Colin Burns. Here's Mcmeekin, gets free, goes top shelf, and no goalie in the country is going to stop that one. Little run for Matt Madelon's squad, and it's 6-3 Princeton.
And that is what Coulter Mcmeekin does best. Sets himself up, rolls back to the left, splits right when the defender trips up a little bit, doesn't go so far towards goal line extended to decrease his angle too much, and then he just says, there's the goalie to catch up to it and he can't. 91 gets on the board. Beautiful job by Mcmeekin to get his season going.
4-0 run for the Tigers over the last 13 minutes and 40 seconds. Taking a 3-2 deficit and turned it into a 6-3 advantage. And a lot of it started with that man, number 32.
If you can start playing, make it, take it. You know, a lot of folks have a lot of things to say about the face-off. Scoring, putting back-to-back goals together with a goaltender like Heller playing so well. So Princeton finding themselves rather quickly on the offensive side of the ball. And as we said, came in with a lot of questions. You knew the names were there from the recruiting class, but how do they get started in their Division I career? The answer so far, rather quickly.
Coordinator, I think the takeaway in the first half, probably some communication.
I think defensive communication is probably the hardest thing to prepare for, right? When you're just playing each other in intra-squad scrimmages, even scrimmages against other schools, you're trying to get guys in, mixing and matching. When you get those 6 on the defensive side for the first time when that whistle blows, it's going to take a couple of quarters for everything to click.
Hawks come out of the scrum. Hayden Chester off the face-off wing. Caffarelli, not sure if he intentionally tried to go behind the back or that's just where the stick ended up. And the Hawks make it back-to-back. Connor Gorman has his second. Here Marquette, but a Garden State native from Ramsey, a 2-time All-American at Don Bosco Prep up in North Jersey. 57 goals, holds their single-season scoring record. 4 minutes to go, another clean face-off win by Mcmeekin, who's now won 8 of 14 for the Tigers. Out in front, the roller, backed up by Burns. Yale victorious, Dartmouth with a new head coach. 4 teams ranked, 1 team receiving votes. Top 4 teams make the Ivy League tournament, which this year will be hosted by the regular season champion.
And you mentioned it, Cornell, the unanimous favorite to win the league, but it's not. It is unanimous, but a tremendous start. Again, the big name coming in was Mcmeekin. You heard a lot about Kabiri primarily, and then Burns, but Burns is popping off the field right now.
We used to talk a lot about this, and I'm proud of us. It took us until the third quarter to make a Michael Sowers reference. But we used to talk about with Michael Sowers, yes, it's what he does with the ball, but it's watch what happens around him when he has the ball.
Correct.
And that's kind of the case today with Colter Mcmeekin. It's, he has the ball, watch what happens when they slide to him.
Yep, and last year, this is a small sample size. We're less than 3 quarters into the season, but last year he really shot whenever his hands were free. Seeing a lot more discretion from Mcmeekin. So in midfield lines, a lot of converted attackmen. So you have a lot of kind of goal-first, offensive-minded folks at midfield, but they can also play short stick defensive midfield, which is really a requirement if you want to get on the field on a Matt Madelon coach team.
The face-off win, Cronk, the junior face-off man, the Colgate.
Between the two on that list in the same year, 1996.
I never realized that until you brought it up when we were looking over that list pregame.
To have 2 players on that list from the same year.
Shot off the face-off win by the face-off specialist, Cronk. Saved by Gian Vercaro and quickly upfield. Maybe the most impressive thing about Colter Mcmeekin.
He had enough mustard on it. That one had plenty to beat Heller.
Give the assist on the nice feed to Quinn Kramer, his first point of the contest. At one point, it was a 3-2 Monmouth lead, and the Tigers starting to run away with this one, up by 6.
And again, if it weren't, still the goaltending and defense, you can talk about the lead and 11 goals, but they're really holistically playing well.
Didn't expect to see number 35 out there, but Tyler Sandoval just took his first face-off of the season. Great to see him. It was originally an hour east of here in West Long Branch, but Monmouth's field not playable, so they shifted it across the state. The weather's better today anyway.
Way better. Yesterday, it was, I would call it a very kind of beautiful snow. It sat well on the trees, but I'm glad that it melted
Yesterday
away.
Was a great day for basketball.
Great day
Princeton.
for basketball. Saw some beautiful photos, though, of the snow, but when it's lacrosse season, we want the sun out like it is today.
It's a little
day.
bit deceiving. You look at the image on your screen, and it looks like there's about 7 feet of snow on Princeton's campus. That's obviously just how they got it off the field. It's not that bad around campus, but it's chilly, it's windy, but the sun's out and a pretty nice crowd.
And given the adjustment was only, a short ride across the state, hence the turnout.
Yeah, fantastic job by the crew here in Princeton, making sure this field not only playable but safe, and then getting the stands cleared out for the crowd here today. Tigers doing their part to Kirst, and yeah, with Brandow, this Princeton attack is going to be as good as anybody once these freshmen settle in.
It certainly is, and yes, by the literal definition of my question, you answered it correctly, but what I was getting at is how many different ways he can get to the goal, which is a lot more than 4, it seems, and we're going to see a lot of that this season, but he's showing a lot of different skill sets, right? Left-handed, right-handed, in close. But what I'm really impressed with.
Debut for Mackesy, that's the hat trick. Coulter Mackesy a season ago, 4th in the nation, 3.7 goals per game. He's got 3 here today, back to the Faceoff X. Monmouth has a beat on it. Mackesy trying to lash at it. Ball pops straight up in the air in front of the Monmouth net. And Quigg finally able to corral it for the Hawks. And now he's being pushed up against the end line by Pace Billings, who gets it back for the Tigers. Schedule that feeds into Ivy League play. Back to the Faceoff X, Princeton's won 12 out of 22, so relatively even. It's been Mcmeekin out there for the Tigers, but a whistle on the faceoff, possession awarded to the Hawks. Well, balanced scoring for the Tigers, 4 goals by Burns, 3 goals. Seen an impressive showing by this Princeton rebuilt attack unit.
Yep, and then, good support from the midfield with Palumbo kind of having a breakout game to get things started. I think that line will just continue to mature with Cameron and Stanett, all legitimate offensive threats.
Matt Madelon talked about it, kind of an interesting